All right, Bella, thanks. The head of the United Nations hosting what was billed as a no-nonsense climate meeting today amid growing anger among activists who say world leaders aren't doing enough to address the crisis head on. Michael George reports from the UN, where California's governor and not the Biden administration's climate envoy was allowed to speak.
This climate crisis is a fossil fuel crisis. This climate crisis
California's Governor Gavin Newsom received applause as he called out oil companies at Wednesday's Climate Ambition Summit at the UN. The gathering comes days after climate activists protested outside the United Nations, demanding more action from world leaders. Newsom touted his state's environmentally friendly initiatives, including a plan to completely transition to zero-emissions vehicles, but acknowledged it comes as California suffers more intense climate-related events.
You see a state that's burning up, a state that's choking up, a state that's heating up, with wildfires and floods and droughts.
The Secretary General of the United Nations pressed leaders to change course now.
We can still limit the rise in global temperature to 1.5 degrees.
Only leaders who came with concrete action plans to address the climate crisis were given the opportunity to speak. Missing from the podium at the climate meeting, the presidents of the United States and China, the two countries which emit the most carbon dioxide. Instead, President Biden referenced the issue during a meeting with Brazil's president.
We're working in lockstep to tackle the climate crisis, including mobilizing hundreds of millions of dollars to conserve the Amazon.
The leaders of the 32 countries who did qualify to speak at the summit represent only 11% of the world's carbon dioxide pollution. Michael George, CBS News, the United Nations.
In a blow to climate activists, Britain's prime minister announcing today he is delaying a ban on new gas and diesel cars by 5 more years. The move was supposed to go into effect in 2030. Prime Minister said he remains committed, though, to cutting greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050.